What's up, everybody? Thank you for checking out this Pokelore video. I, of course, am your host, Professor Snorlax, and I am joined, as always, by your boy,
Jiggly Jamborino.
Jiggly Jamborino. That's right. It's Ben. How you doing, Ben?
Was
Today, we thought we'd start bringing back these Pokelore discussions we were doing leading up to the release of Sword and Shield. It's been kind of a while since we put out any video content, so we figured we'd start it again. And it is the end of April 2020 when we're recording this video, so we're just at the very most like a month and a week at the least, or at the very least a month and a week, at the very most about 2 months away from release of the first DLC for Pokemon Sword and Shield. That's the Isle of Armor expansion, and we thought we would talk about what are our biggest wants from this DLC, and we can include the Crown Tundra in this discussion as well. Just what do we want to see from this DLC content for the game?
yeah.
So let's bounce the idea back and forth. So what's your biggest want? Your number one thing that you want the most out of the Isle of Armor?
I mean, if they're gonna be adding a bunch of Pokemon into the DLC, I'm hoping. Well, the other one's a Tundra, so I'm kind of hoping that Exeggutor comes out in this one.
Ooh, like regular Exeggutor or Alolan Exeggutor?
If they're bringing the one, they're gonna bring the other one, because I think this one's gonna be like tropical themed. And
yeah, I can see that.
I think there's some palm trees in the little leak reveal, so I'm hoping Exeggutor.
Exeggutor is literally just a palm tree.
Yeah, so I think there's a good chance.
Nice. So Exeggutor specifically is your biggest want.
Yep, that's one of my big wants, because I want to Dynamax Alolan Exeggutor.
Nice. All right. So I think my biggest one is just more Gigantamax Pokemon, besides just the 3 starters.
Ooh, that was actually, I was gonna go into that. I'm thinking they could definitely surprise us with a bunch of either Dynamaxes that they're gonna bring with new Pokemon they're adding in, like the old new Pokemon that they're bringing in, or some of the old Pokemon from the base game are just gonna suddenly get Dynamax or Gigantamax forms.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that it's a lot of old Pokemon that get them, as well as like maybe a few Galar Pokemon here and there. I would say that I hope that if they give more old Pokemon Gigantamax forms, they're not all just Kanto Pokemon again.
Yeah.
Let's think of some Pokemon that could use a competitive buff here. Give me a Gigantamax Girafarig. That's also just fun to say. Gigantamax Girafarig. Yeah, say that time cool. 5 times fast. I also think it would be cool if I'll do the next thing.
Okay.
If I don't think it's going to be in either of these DLCs, but if they do another DLC, which my gut kind of tells me they will, we can maybe talk about that again in a minute. But
oh yeah, they're gonna lay on this DLC stuff.
I think that's just what Gen 8 is, and that's kind of another thing I want it to be. I almost don't want another game this generation. I just want more DLC content.
We don't need another game this generation, I don't think.
Yeah.
They can keep layering on all this DLC stuff. It's fine.
Yeah, honestly, like they could probably wrap up what they're trying to do with like a 3rd DLC patch. You know, if what they're trying to do is add all the Pokemon back in, you know, and make it like
do 4. They could do what these 2 DLCs are $15 each, right?
Yeah, so 4 would just be like basically buying another game.
It'd be another whole game.
Yeah. Well, I kind of think that they might do a Sinnoh remake. I'm personally of the opinion that we don't need remakes anymore. Like, I think that Let's Go did a good enough job filling that hole where like we just have a quick little like adventure that's its own.
Are you saying you want more Let's Go's?
Yes, I want more Let's Go's. I know that's not exactly like on topic, but like instead of another like full game, like a sequel to this game or a 3rd version or anything, give me a Let's Go instead of a Sinnoh remake. Let's just start with Let's Go Johto, call Let's Go Pineco and Girafarig, and let's just keep making DLCs. And I think that they're gonna try to make this like a quote unquote like complete Pokemon game. Add all the Pokemon they cut out, which unfortunately means your boy Lando's gonna come back.
Yeah, he's coming back in the Tundra.
Yeah. That's something that's confirmed. We can talk about in a minute. But I mean, like, if he's coming back at this point, we might as well just bring everything back. So I truly think that at some point they're gonna bring Megas back into the fold.
Unfortunately, yeah.
And if Megas are coming back into the fold, you know what else that means?
The gross, disgusting primals that never needed to be.
That's right, the primals. But also, this is another interesting. If they do bring all the Pokemon, all their forms back into the game, do they also need to add Z moves again, so that we could have Ultra Necrozma? Or is there like do you think they would just make another way to give us Ultra Necrozma?
Honestly, they might. Like I remember Gen 7 was talking about how Z moves can only be activated in Alola because there's some crazy Alola power.
See, that's cool.
So what if they make it so? Just have some. I don't know how they're gonna do it. They're gonna have to make it make sense with the games, because at least the games kind of follow suit to where region exclusive things at this point stay region exclusive to an extent.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a lore reason for Gigantamax only being in Galar too, in Dynamax, right? So like, when we eventually get like a Gen 9, there will theoretically not be that stuff anymore. But imagine a meta, like there's that Smogon meta. I don't know if you've tried it. It's like the National Dex meta, and I've not even looked into it. I don't know if they can do this or not. But imagine having to like pick a Z move user and a Mega and a Gigantamax, or like think about which Pokemon you're gonna Dynamax.
Jeez.
Would Dynamax Pokemon be able to use Z moves? I don't think they can, because their items don't. Yeah, they can still pop berries when they're Dynamax though, but I don't think they get like the Life Orb boost or anything like that, right?
You know what? That's a good question, because they could still hold the crystal.
Would Mega Pokemon be able to Dynamax if they brought Megas into this game? There are so many fun questions that come into.
Yeah, I don't know.
When it comes,
they're gonna have to make a different. Like it's a slot's gonna be overlapped. That like circle that's next to the moves.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to do something with that if all those other options are available again.
Yeah, that actually kind of makes me question whether or not they will be back this generation. Like, maybe they'll bring all the old Pokemon back, but just not Megas. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure.
Or maybe if you Mega Evolve in a game, you can't Dynamax that same game. Maybe that's like something they patch in. Interesting stuff.
But I guess at least Megas and Z moves had to use items to do their thing.
True.
So I don't know what they're gonna do this generation. Maybe they're not gonna bring it back. Who knows?
Who knows? Well, I just thought of another thing that I want to come back that is actually, I'm pretty sure, basically confirmed to be a thing.
Oh?
More Galarian forms. So we've already got Galarian
right.
Slowpoke. We're apparently going to get a Galarian Slowbro, as well as a Galarian Slowking.
I would love to see a lot more Galarian forms, because honestly, these regional variants, I've been a big fan of this stuff. I love Galar Weezing. I love Alolan Exeggutor. I love I think Alolan Marowak so much cooler than old Marowak. I think
Dude,
that's like I think it's like a general consensus that everyone thinks the new Marowak is cooler.
Yep. I think that Alolan Marowak is probably my favorite regional variant out of all of them. I'm a big fan of his. I'm also a big fan of Obstagoon. But Obstagoon's kind of weird, because this generation we got regional variants as well as like
regional
new evolutions. So it was kind of like Gen 7's thing as well as Gen 4's thing.
I liked it. I like what they did with that. But at the same time, I'm disappointed that the old Pokemon, such as old Farfetch'd, is just not as good as the new one, because the new one evolves into Surfetch'd.
Yeah, that is kind of a bummer. But you know what? It's okay by me.
Yep,
as long Surfetch'd is so cool that like I'll take him however I could get him.
So, yeah.
He is my boy. So do you have anything else like specifically that you think that you want to see from these DLCs?
something to keep me engaged in this. Not make it feel like I bring all of my overleveled Pokemon over to this and just sweep through it.
Yeah, I can see that. I definitely want it to be like
Maybe.
a challenge. I know that you have to go through the like battle tower or something with your Cubfu
Okay.
to turn him into Urshifu. Now, here's a question. So like that's a mythical Pokemon. So theoretically we can only get the one by playing through our DLC. Can we replay this DLC like if we're nuzlocking the game? Can we start this DLC over somehow to get a new Cubfu if we restart the game? And also,
yeah.
like, I have to play through with my Cubfu, and if I can only get one, I guess I'm just gonna Eevee train it, like as soon as I get it, so that I don't ruin its stuff with my playthrough.
Unless you can breed it.
Unless
They
you
didn't
can,
say
yeah,
you
true.
can't breed it yet, so who knows?
That's true. And also, I guess you could just use berries to reduce the EVs.
Yeah, true. I'm glad that Urshifu is at least a single Pokemon with 2 forms, so it's not like you have to get both of them
That's true.
for the Pokédex.
I'm gonna need to get both of them because I'm me, and I'm gonna want to use both of them at some point. Even though I'm sure he's probably just gonna be an Uber, and he's not gonna be playable in VGC if he's a mythical theoretically.
So going back to things that we want, I would love to see a level cap in the DLC, like taking over
Ooh.
the overworld. Like you know how you go online and everything gets set to level 50.
Yeah,
If that just happened, so everything was kind of like a challenge.
that'd be kind of cool. There's so much cool shit. Um, I think that something that's like somebody told me, I think Kurt's Pokeballs are like all the weird Pokeballs from Johto
Mhm.
are obtainable
Yeah.
in the DLC. Like somebody said that they saw that in the screen caps. I don't know how true that is.
Weren't it?
It's a cool thought. Aren't they in the game now actually?
Yeah, you can get them from Ball Guy. I'm pretty sure.
That's right. Okay, so maybe there were
I
more
think
Kurt
so.
balls. I don't know. I think that the Puckle podcast brought it up because their
I'm gonna.
host
I'll look that up
trainer
real quick.
Thatch is really into the Kurt's balls stuff. He's really into Kurt's balls.
Man, he really loves Kurt's balls.
So do you think that aside from new Alolan forms or
They're all-
Galarian forms?
They're all in the game, by the way. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So aside from new Galarian forms, do you think that we're gonna get any more new Pokemon, like just straight up new Pokemon designs?
Besides Triforce, Cotton Ball, and
Besides the new legendaries, do you think that there's just gonna be like a new 20 or more regular Pokemon you can encounter in the wild? I don't think there will be. This was already
don't
a pretty
think
big
so.
Pokedex.
yeah, I don't think there will be. I think there could possibly be Galarian, or yeah, Galarian forms, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Galarian forms.
Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be Galarians because we've seen the Moltres, Articuno, Zapdos,
Ooh,
the
actually, no.
Reggies.
Yeah, the Reggies. That's right. Those new Reggies.
So,
excited for those.
so it's kind of been confirmed that each one of these is also just going to be a new wild area. How do you think it'll be bigger or smaller than the current wild area, or mostly the same size? I kind of think it's going to be smaller, just because Game Freak is Game Freak, and like,
Well, based on the map, probably about the same size, honestly.
I'd be okay with it if it was the same size. I'll be a little disappointed if it's smaller, unless like the fighting dojos are really something special. How much story do you think it's gonna give? Do you think it's just gonna be like a one and done run through that thing, through the dojo, and then you're just free to explore the area, or do you think there's gonna be like a little bit more beef to it in terms of actual like story content?
Based on the map, I'm looking at the map right now. There's a lot of. I'm hoping there's water areas that you can just kind of surf around on because there's a lot of water and little islands surrounding this Isle of Armor.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's like not just the wild area and the little battle tower that you got.
So I don't have the map open right now. Can you see Galar from like on that map? Can you see where it is relative to the region of Galar?
So you know the one island that has Is it Nisa's place? The place. It, I think it's Nisa's place. It's like right next to there, with a lighthouse.
Nice. That's cool. I was gonna say maybe there's like a way they'll like patch it in so you can surf there and you get like a little exploration that way, but
Nah, I don't.
I
I
doubt
don't
it.
think it looks like it's connected on the map like that.
Cool.
You're gonna have to fly there probably.
Or like take a ferry.
Well, it. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Maybe.
Cool. So one other thing that's being added with these games is all the legendaries back in once we get to the Crown Tundra, right? That's the second one, the Crown Tundra.
They're probably all just gonna spawn as
Raids probably, right?
raids.
That's what I would think. Which is cool. I guess I'd rather do more raids than like I was not a big fan of the ultra wormhole stuff.
I was gonna say surf the universe for them.
Surf the universe, man. Catch yourself a fucking Groudon. I actually don't think you could get Groudon that way. I think it was like everything but the Hoenn Legends.
I'm about 5,000 dimensions deep in here now.
Oh god, that was so annoying when you had to like didn't you like have to play with the motion controls? Or actually I think you could turn it off, but it was still annoying. It always felt clunky and weird to control.
It was It was like a bad flying game.
Yeah. I was not a fan of most things Gen 7, and that was just another thing that was like really cool at first, but quickly just got tedious, especially after you got all the Ultra Beasts.
I just wish that was the base Sun and Moon game and not like just a remake.
Me too. I would have loved it if it was the base Sun and Moon game, but I like felt so kind of like gypped just because I had just bought that game a year prior and it was almost no different except for they added things that were tedious. I think it was, right? Sun and Moon was 2016, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon was 2017, 2018 was Pikachu, 2019 was Sword and Shield.
Wow.
It's 2020
Okay.
now and we're getting DLCs. I think if we were gonna get another Pokemon game this year, they would have announced it by now, unless it was like Sword and Shield Ultra version.
Well, the second Pokemon company, what are they called? The one that makes all the remakes. Can't remember what they're called.
I think that's still Game Freak. They just like have an A team and a B team, don't they? Isn't that the way that they operate?
Yeah. But they've got to be working on something.
Oh, they're definitely working on a new game, whether it's Gen 9 or Gen 4 remakes or Let's Go Girafarig and Pineco.
Maybe a new mystery dungeon.
Maybe another mystery dungeon. Could be. I think that is Mystery Dungeon in-house at Game Freak. I think all those little side games they let another company take care of it for them.
I think Creatures Inc. or something.
Creatures Inc. Yeah. Are they the Creatures Inc. didn't make Pokemon Masters, did they? Or was that another company? I'm not really sure.
Ooh. Might have been. Masters. There's Pokemon Company, Game Freak, Creatures.
Well, either way. So I wonder if Crown Tundra, they haven't really talked about what that story is going to be. They talked about Isle of Armor being the Urshifu thing, and you go through Mustard's dojo and then pick a fighting
Mustard,
tower
yeah.
to go through. You can only pick one.
There's probably ketchup somewhere too.
That's actually kind of what I was going to get into. Do you think that like there's going to be like a parallel to that in the Crown Tundra? Like, are we going to meet Ketchup? There's definitely some more to the story because they kind of showed off those new characters. And remember when you caught your Galarian Slowpoke? One of the new characters like got off the train and was like, "I'm from elsewhere. I'm going to the Crown Tundra or Isle of Armor or whatever."
Isn't that like there's like a gym leader from that place, right?
I think it might have been like one of the people that is in charge of one of the fighting schools.
Oh.
Because I think each version of the game got a different character.
I didn't actually I didn't activate that in-game event yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got traded a Slowpoke.
Classic. I did it like immediately. Like as soon as it was available that day.
I should have.
Here's another thing that I kind of want to see happen. We can start to wrap this up now, I guess, because
Okay.
you know, it's only so much we could talk about. Like, I want this to happen, but I really want to see more of an option to like turn Pokemon who can't Dynamax or Gigantamax right now into Gigantamax forms. So like if I have a regular Charizard and it does not Gigantamax, I want to be able to give it some kind of in-game item or do something to it elsewhere in the game that gives it the ability to Gigantamax.
Unlock their Gigantamax factor in the game somehow.
Yeah. I think that they said that that's kind of going to be a thing because that's how your starter gets to Gigantamax.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they'll expand upon it so that just anything you can breed. Because if you can breed Gigantamax Pokemon, that would be amazing. I could finally have 0 speed IVs of like Hatterene and things that I haven't been able to catch yet. Or EVs, or IVs. I was right.
I'm just hoping like this whole starter business isn't the starter you started the game with, because I guarantee you a lot of the people that don't have that starter anymore. I don't even know if I still have my Inteleon to start.
I like always make a box just called in-game because I'm a sentimental schmuck, okay. So I keep track of them. But I hope that's not a thing. That would suck if it has to be like your starter, like you played through the game, and that's the only one you can Gigantamax. That would be horrible. I want to be able to just breed Score Bunnies, because then like you might want it with the hidden ability too. Like I want a Gmax like Cinderace with libido or what? Libido? What's his with a huge libido? His libero, I think that's his like Greninja rip-off ability.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know, I think it would be cool is if you got another starter.
Libido. Yeah.
Like, remember how in Gen 6 they gave you a Kanto starter? And then, like, in certain games...
What if they gave you a Gen 4 starter?
That's what I was thinking.
That was the Sinnoh remake.
That's the Sinnoh remake. That's cool. I would actually not be upset with that. You know what else would be cool? We've kind of talked about this before, and it's like definitely a pipe dream that's not going to happen. But what if they add new Gigantamaxes to the game that are just if a Pokemon had a Mega before, their Gigantamax is just that Mega?
I can't wait for 3 Gigantamax Charizards.
Me neither, because you know I love my boy. Yeah, it's cool. I wonder if
that's what I was expecting Gigantamax to be that in the first place, and then they revealed Charizard, and I was like, well, I guess it's not.
Yeah. I remember talking about that in like one of our really old discussion videos when we were just kind of speculating. Back when that leak happened, that like called that Gigantamax was going to be a thing by name and among other things. I remember the other leak that people were believing back then was that like the legendaries were going to be like a crown spider, and I forget what the other thing was, but they like got some other weird stuff right, but it seemed like they were just guessing. Remember armor evolution? That was a big...
Oh god, that would have been awful.
Could be a thing. DLC. Bring in some armor evolution.
Please no. I remember the Gigantamax leak had Fat Pikachu and Long Meowth on there.
Yeah, and it had Lapras.
As soon as that was confirmed.
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I hope that more Gigantamaxes are like competitively viable. Because at the start, I'm really just talking in terms of like VGC, but everybody was really not too stoked on most of the Gigantamaxes for competitive usage. Snorlax was like the big one, but he quickly like fell out of favor. Nobody uses him anymore. I think that now Charizard and Hatterene are like among the ones I see the most if I'm seeing a Gigantamax Pokemon. But usually people just Dynamax like a Tyranitar or something. Oh, and Lapras. Lapras is actually probably the biggest one right now.
Lapras
and Charizard. But I want to see more that are like... I don't want to see like the shtick of them having like a specific thing that only they can do go away. But I want to see other ones that are like maybe a little bit more useful.
Well, I think you can only add so many secondary effects onto those moves, because otherwise it just kind of becomes ridiculous.
True.
It's like, what are you gonna add? Like this Gigantamax move is a one shot.
That's a good point. Gigantamax Guillotine, but it's got a 60% accuracy.
Because then you just wasted your Gigantamax turn. You could have just been setting something up,
That's true.
like boosting your stats with something or.
Yeah. Well, I don't
lowering
know. I don't know
damage.
what I want them to give me. But that's their job to figure out.
I almost think. Yeah, true. They're almost running out of stuff. When it comes to the Galarian starters at this point, because all three of those, the Gigantamax moves are gonna be, they hit the enemy Pokemon regardless of abilities.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I mean, that's great. That makes it so you don't have to worry about like flame. What are they called? Sap Sipper and those type of things.
Yeah. Yeah, more useful for the first two. So all their moves, is it like they get the ability, so all their moves hit, or is it just their Gigantamax hits?
Their Gigantamax special move makes it like always hits.
Okay.
Regardless of ability.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you know what I mean, right? Like the water guy doesn't have to worry about water absorbing the water attack. It actually just hits him instead.
Right. That's cool. I wonder, that seems more useful for Inteleon and Rillaboom than it does for Cinderace, honestly.
Well,
But I guess
Cinderace gotta worry about.
He gets libido.
He gets libido.
Living libido loca.
Who knows if that activates during? Well, no, I guess it wouldn't change the attack. No, but he's got to worry about Flash Fire.
Ooh, true.
Not really anything runs Flash Fire.
No, it's not like relevant, but yeah. I guess somebody had to get the short end of the stick, and he gets like the most useful ability out of all of them, just in his base form.
Yeah, I think Inteleon's special move is the most helpful compared to the other two, because Rillaboom doesn't really have to worry about too many abilities, sapping up his grass type attack.
Yeah. So that's one more thing that I hope happens in the DLC. The
more Gigantamax.
Besides more Gigantamax, the hidden abilities for the starters finally being released. I think that in Gen 7 to finally get the hidden abilities for the Gen 7 starters, I think that it came with like a Pokemon Bank subscription. Like
I think so.
If you were subscribed to Bank, you got the starter moves or abilities, which is fine.
That happened with a couple other Pokemon too.
Yeah, I think that they gave away
Gen 6.
Yeah, they always kind of did something like that with Bank, I think. Like they gave away I think the birds once.
Oh yeah, I actually think I missed out on those.
I think that the first year of Gen 7, didn't you like get Mew's Z Crystal? If you were subscribed, that was like the only way to get Munium Z or whatever.
Yep.
So
I think those are gone.
Yeah. Z moves, I don't even miss Z moves just because of how long the animations took.
That was honestly the worst.
I remember like on stream, every time somebody used Kamo's ability, it would just be like, all right, well, I'm gonna get up and go pick up a pizza. And...
I hate him so much for that. Just for that.
Oh my gosh, it was horrible.
I hate him, I think.
Mimikyu's was also really annoying. Eevees, like any of the ones that took a really long time. The standard moves weren't that bad. The only one that I forgive is Snorlax, because at least his was kind of funny.
His was pretty fast.
Yeah, his didn't take an hour, which was nice.
It was the Ultra Sun and Moon ones they added in. Those were the worst ones.
I think.
I don't know if you could hear that. I had the Murder City happening over on my end this time.
Oh, you had the Murder City?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a lot of fun. Yeah, lots of cool stuff to look forward to in these games. I'm really excited. I think that like this is a good direction. I know like there's a lot of backlash, not nearly as much as there was for other things in the game, but people are like, "Oh, they sold us half a game and now they're gonna sell us the rest of the game." And I'm like, "You're gonna buy it, dude." Like, we all know you're gonna buy it. Powerless not to buy it. And also, like, I don't know. This is just the state of the gaming industry. Like DLC is a thing. It hasn't. like the price of video games kind of just been the same for like decades now. Like it hasn't adjusted with inflation or anything. It's just always been a flat $60 because the video game industry is so afraid of tanking a second time the way they did in the 80s.
Well, I'm not gonna jinx it, but Nintendo's stayed the same.
For the most part. I mean, they've definitely released more DLC though, like the Breath of the Wild DLC, that they've done that's cost money. The Smash Brothers Fighters passes and stuff.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I will say, like, people will argue that like Breath of the Wild's a like more complete game, or whatever. But like, I don't know, define complete game. This was a full game. It took me about the same amount of time to beat Pokemon Sword and Shield than it did to beat Spider-Man on PS4. So, go figure. It was each like 20-something hours. But yeah, that's I think that's about it. Unless you have anything else that you like desperately want to see in these games that you want to talk about.
No, we only have about a month left.
That's
Probably
true.
A couple more videos to maybe show off a couple more things. Hopefully, Slow Bro and Slow King turn into cool Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't given us more information by now, considering it's supposed to come out in June. I'm wondering if like the COVID-19 stuff is going to delay its release, but in the direct they did, during the pandemic, they talked about the games coming out, the DLC coming out in June still. And they kind of talked about, what did they give us there? They gave us some new information. It was like new clothes and stuff that you could get. That was like the big takeaway.
They're probably going to add more curry decks.
More curry decks. Ooh, you can finally change the colors of your biking outfit. You can't wear something that isn't your biking outfit, but you can at least change the color. So that's something. Guess I'll take it.
Sure.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else, so that's it.
Good to me.
Yeah, sweet. So guys, this has been Pokelore. This is just kind of like a casual hangout, talk about Pokemon kind of night. If you'd like to catch one of our streams, we stream right now every Wednesday. We will eventually be transitioning back to Tuesday nights whenever the whole pandemic thing is over and my work schedule can bring on its dope new timing. That'll be great.
Once we get back to the studio.
Yeah, once we're in the studio. Normally we would be on camera doing these videos too, and not just me trying to stall out a bunch of raids. I think I've done like 4 or 5.
Oh wow!
Well, I brought a Dragapult to a Mr. Mime raid, and that
You're
was
doing
gross.
this offline too, right?
I am. It's just me and a bunch of like horrible DLC or NPC people. But yeah, we're streaming every week. We're doing ranked battles, viewer battles, raids with people. We have a Discord. It's linked in this video in the info section. So if you want to join our Discord, get on some trades. We want to start doing tournaments again at some point. Hopefully, if people like stop dropping off the face of the earth in the middle of the tournament. Looking at you, King, if you're watching this, disappearing in the middle of our draft league, you monster. But yeah, that's it. So until next time, I've been Nick.
I've been Ben.
And we will catch you in the future at some point. Okay, bye.
Catch you on the Galarian side.